मनोभीष्ट स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
No, you do one thing. Come here, sit on the chair. Yeah, fast over.
Yes, kindly mute your mics, everyone, please. Yes, so Hare Krishna. I would like to welcome every one of you for the session 4 of the Master the Basics of Sanskrit Grammar and Sahitya course. Okay, I'm very happy. Last 3 classes have already happened, and I hope many things you have learned. I have tried my best. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me like by WhatsApp or through email. I have provided all the contact details. So any time of the day when you are practicing the exercises of Sanskrit grammar, so if you feel any if you have any doubt, then you can message me. Then I will send you the answers. Okay, so I will give the explanation, so in that way you can get your doubts clarified. Okay.
Buji, could you please paste your email and contact information in chat?
Yes, in chat. Okay.
Yeah,
I will
or
just
in WhatsApp or here in the chat, because
once.
no, after the class also there's nothing urgent.
Yeah, I will just write it now only.
Because I was thinking, had some something came up to my mind when I was reading and taking the Kahoot quiz. It will be good to have your information reachable, so available, so we can reach out. Thank you, Prabhuji. I can
Yes.
see it.
So the
it.
second one, the number for calling, I request you that if you have like any burning question, then only call, because I'm engaged in some other sevas also. So maybe I would not be able to sometimes take up the call. You can maybe either WhatsApp me the number which is given, or it's best that you send the email. That will be best. So I regularly check and then I can.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Today, Ashwini Mataji, please chant the prayers.
Hare Krishna, bro.
Hare Krishna.
शुक्लांबरं धरं विष्णु शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायते सर्वो विघ्नोपशायन्ते सरस्वती नमस्तभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा येनाक्षरं धीमया महेश्वरात् कृतस्वाक्रणप्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनीय नमः. प्रभु नेक्स्ट पेज. व्याककारं वरैरुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनं सूत्रकारं च प्रणीतो अस्मि मुनित्रयम् वागाथ स्पृक्तो वागाथ प्रतिपतये जगत्पितरवन्दे पार्वती महेश्वरो पार्वती परमेश्वरो.
Thank you. Yes, so these are the meanings. Okay. So I will send the PDF of all the PPT slides. You can definitely also learn the meaning of those verses. Okay, so usually what I will do from the further classes, every class I will just maybe bring up some new shloka or new ukti or some other phrase which will depict, which will show the vast vocabulary, the richness of the Sanskrit's vocabulary. Okay, and the different wonders which are there, which is possible only in the Sanskrit language. Okay, so today I have brought another shloka, which is again there in the Chitra Kavitvani book written by Srila Rupa Goswami. Okay, and here is a shloka which uses only 3 consonants out of the 33 consonants. Okay, those are the, va, and na. Okay, I will chant, and if anyone is also, if he can also, someone can also try chanting this, because this is only used, they have only used 3 Vyanjanas to compose this shloka. So I will try it. Devanam nandano devo nodano veda nindinam divam dudava nadena dane danava nandinaha. Okay, I will chant again. Devanam nandano devo nodano veda nindinam divam dudava nadena dane danava nandinaha. Okay, so if someone would like to try, and please try your best to not, without any break or without any pause. So try your best and just should be pronounced without any break.
Can I go first? Can I go first?
Yeah, Chaitanya Bro. Yes, please.
Devanam Nandeno Devo Nadeno Bodhinan Danamu. Prabhuji, sorry.
Yeah, Chaitanya Bro, I will ask
Devam.
other devotees. Then after that you can chant. Okay. Sadayogi Bro.
Yeah. देवानां नन्दनो देवो नोदनो वेदनिन्दिनां दिवं दुदावनादेन दाने दानवनन्दिनः.
Very nice, Bro.
Haribol.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you, Bro.
Beautiful.
Madhur Ganga Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Devanam nandano devo nodano veda nindinam divam dudavanadena dane danavanandinaha.
Yeah, very nice, Mataji. Next is Rasik Keshav.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Devanam nandano devo nodano veda nindinam divam dudavanadena dane danavanandinaha.
Excellent, Bro. Excellent. Excellent. Yes. In Sanskrit, whenever we want to applause, so usually nowadays, like people, they applause, like, by clapping, or in that way they show, oh, you are very nicely written. But in Sanskrit, in the group of different scholars, they used to applaud by speaking sadhu 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 sadhu, like that they used to pronounce. They used to actually chant, and in that way they used to applaud. Yeah. So in that way, sadhu sadhu. Shameshwari Mataji. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Devanam nandano devo nodano vedaninam divam dudav nadena dane danav nandinaha.
Yeah. Sachi Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Devanam nandano devo nodo no dvida nindinam divam dudava nadena dane danava nandinaha.
Next, who else is remaining? Okay, everyone is. Yeah, so what is the meaning? You can also quote this sometime, this shloka, in order to, in sometimes when you are giving some class, or when you can share this shloka to others. So it means the God, Lord Vishnu, who causes pleasure to the other gods and pain to the opponents of the Vedas, filled the heaven with a loud sound as he killed Hiranyakashipu. A demon forbade his son to take the name of Vishnu. So this shloka is glorifying which incarnation of the Lord? Narsimha.
Narsimha.
Yeah, Lord Narsimha. So Lord Narsimha killed Hiranyakashipu. So this shloka is actually glorifying. Okay. Yeah, so just quick revision we will do of last class. Please raise your hands. So please tell me what did we discuss in the last class. So one by one you can tell one point. Okay, whatever you have learned in the last class.
Gunitaksharam.
Yes, Gunita Aksharas. What is the meaning, Mataji? Gunita Akshara.
Vyanjan plus svar.
Actually.
Vyanjan plus svar is Gunitakshar.
Yes. So Vyanjana plus Svara, when they are adjoined, and the symbols which are actually added to those Vyanjanas. So that is called Purnakshara, and that is called Gunitakshara. Okay. Then, yes, Shamashri Mataji.
Sanyuktaksharani.
Sanyuktakshara. So Sanyuktakshara, what is the difference between Sanyuktakshara and Gunitakshara?
This is a cluster of Vyanjanas, either 2 or 3 or 4, but whereas this is Gunitaksharani is Swara, some symbol is attached to the Swara. That
Yes.
symbol
Yes.
is that Gunitaksharani.
Correct. Yeah, Vyanjana plus Swara it becomes full Purnakshara or Ganitakshara. And the other, the Sayuktakshara, so it's a cluster of 2 or more Vyanjanas. Yes. Anyone else?
We have 5 types of
Sakya Printer, yes.
5 types of this aksharas and Samyuktaksharas.
Yeah, based on the writing. So based on the script, we have divided the Samyuktaksharas into 5.
Right. The ka plus ka, like that. You have one type.
Correct.
Then one comes below that. Anga comes below that. Second one comes arka. Ka, ra and ka. This ka, if you go, comes like and arka, like that it will come. And second is ka and ra, kra.
Correct.
Okay. And one is general, it can be placed anywhere. That is another option. So
yes. Yeah, thank you. Radha Pyari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You also mentioned Shiksha, the phonetics of science of phonetics of Sanskrit, and how the air is originated from Nabhi and then passes through vocal folds and trachea and the mouth, and then how the sounds are produced.
Correct. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the Prana Vayu is actually Prana Vayu, which comes from the navel, the Pradesha where from navel, and it passes through diaphragm and the rib cage, and in that way the sound is actually then produced. Chaitanya Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I was talking about the same thing. How the voice is, how we pronounce using the organs like diaphragm and
yeah. Thank you. Yes, so yeah, we covered up all of the topics. Yes. Okay, so now we will get into today's syllabus. Today we will talk about the places of articulation. Okay, so places of articulation means when we pronounce the different varnas. So totally there are swaras and vyanjanas. Okay, and it becomes 46, 13 swaras and 33 vyanjanas. So it becomes totally 46 varnas plus additional varna which is found only in the Vedas. Now the places of articulation which through this actually varnotpatti sthanani, through this word we are trying to indicate the different places in the mouth through which the help of different places, we are actually able to pronounce the different, shabdas. So the air is actually coming out. Okay, the air, we want to pronounce some letters, and the air is actually being blown out, but in order to differentiate from one letter to another letter, and we want to produce different sounds, and that's why we need to take the help of different places which are there in the mouth. So by taking the help of either one place or maybe two places, so different sounds are produced. Now, which letter is pronounced from which place in the mouth, that we are going to discuss in this topic. Okay. So kindly make a note of all the things. So in the mouth, primarily, mainly there are 7 sthanas. Okay, 7 articulation places through which we are pronouncing the swaras and the vyanjanas. Now, what are those 7 sthanas? Sthanani: Nasika, Murdha, Talu, Oshtau, Dantaha, Jivvamulam, and Kantaha. So these are the 7 places. Okay. And these are the English equivalents. So Nasika, that is nasal effort; Murdha, hard palate; Oshtau, that is lips; Dantaha, that is teeth; then Talu, soft palate; and Kantaha, throat; Jivamulam, that is the edge of the tongue. Okay. Now we will get into the classifications of the varnas based on the places of articulation. So what are the letters which are pronounced through the place kantaha, or the throat? So I will just use laser pointer. So the very first sentence, the very first phrase, line you can find here in akuha visarjaniyanam kantaha. Okay, akuha visarjaniyanam kantaha. Now I would request, or I would ask that everyone please memorize these are these phrases, so that it will be very much easier for you to remember all of the varnas which have their respective places of articulation. So if you just memorize this line, immediately, if at all, whenever you want to recall which varna is pronounced from which place, so immediately you can actually remember, and you can tell, okay, yeah, so this varna is actually pronounced by the through this place. So akuha visarjaniyanam kanta. Now, among the swaras, a and a letters, okay, rasva akaraha and dirgha akaraha, their place of articulation is kanta. So you pronounce it, okay. Or I was just yesterday, I was standing in front of the mirror, and I was just thinking about the class preparation. So I was just thinking, and I was trying to see in my mouth through the mirror. So if you have any mirror, small mirror, you can just take and then try to just put in front of your face and then pronounce this letter, so that you can get a more proper idea how actually these letters are pronounced from the kantaha. Okay, so okay, you can feel that vibration in the kantaha. Then okay, then then what are the others? Then in among the vyanjanas, the whole ka varga. Okay, so there are 25 vyanjanas who are actually categorized in the varga classifications, 5 into 5. Ka varga, cha varga, ta varga, then ta varga and pa varga. Okay, these are the 5 vargas. So the very first varga, ka varga, their place of articulation is also kanta. So you can also feel ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. Okay, so these are also continued. Then what else? Ushmanaha. Okay, another which is among the avargiya vyanjana. So in the avargiya, which are out of the vargiya vyanjana, so they are 8 in number, and among them also the names are given. So the very first 4, yara, lava, they are classified as antastha varnas, and the other last 4 vyanjanas, they are considered to be ushmana. Okay, sha, 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 sa, and ha. So these are considered to be ushmana letters, and among ushmana letters, the ha letter is also having the place of articulation kanta. Ha. ha. Okay. Then among the ayogavahas, okay, among the ayogavahas, visarga is also having that place of articulation kanta. Okay, when we pronounce that anything, aha, aha, so we can feel that. Okay, so visargas place of articulation is also kanta. So these are the swara, vyanjana, and ushmana letters and the ayogavaha letters whose place of articulation is actually kanta. Okay. So in the diagram, in this photo, you can see, you can feel the pressure, you can feel that vibration here in the mouth. Okay, this is called throat or kanta. Next is talu, the second place of articulation. So what are the letters? E chuya shana talu. E chuya shana talu. Among the swaras who have the place of articulation talu, ikaraha and ikaraha. Okay, rasva ikaraha and dirgha ikara. In vargiya vyanjan, full cha varga. Cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. Okay. Cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. So they also have talu as the place of articulation. Then among the antastha letters, okay, the very first four avargiya vyanjanas, among them ya, the letter ya is also it's also coming in the category of talu. Then ushmana, among the ushmana letters, the shivas, when we write shiva, so that shakara. So its place of articulation is also talu. So these are the letters, okay, for the talu. So e chuya shana talu. Next is murdha. Okay, murdha. So the phrase which you can memorize, that is riturashana murdha. Riturashana murdha. Among the swaras, r and r. Okay, the elongated version of the rasvarika, that is dirgha. So these two, r and r, so these are having murdha as their place of articulation. Then full ta varga. Okay, full ta varga. Now here in the phrase you can see two is mentioned, two. So, and before it was mentioned chu. You see, chu. Then before it was mentioned ku. So ku, chu, and tu. By the letter u, actually we are indicating the whole varga. Okay, that's the way we are actually indicating the whole varga. In the group of grammarians, they also usually sometimes they indicate the whole varga by pronouncing only, by adding the u letter to that first letter of that vargiya vyanjana. Okay, so in that way, by the letter, by the verb, by the tu, we are indicating the whole ta varga. Then antastaha varnas, so r or repaha. So repaha is also having that same murdha. R. Ushmanaha. Among the Ushmana letters, the shatkon. So if you pronounce sha, the tongue is actually the tip of the tongue. It's becoming like a curvature form, and it's touching the hard palate, okay, the above portion of the mouth. So here you can see the one in yellow color. So the tongue is actually touching that when you pronounce the sha, ra, ta, da, dha, na. Okay. So these are etesham varnanam sthanam murdha. Then dantaha. So litulasanam dantaha. L or among these swaras, the l letter, so that is having dantaha as the place of articulation. Among vargiya, tu means full ta varga. Okay, ta, tha, da, dha, na. Among the antastha letters, la. Among the ushmana letters, sa. Okay, saraswati. In the word saraswati, the sa which we use, that is the sa we are talking about. And that is also having the same place of articulation, danta. So when we pronounce that, then you can see the dantas are employed. The dantas are used in order to pronounce these letters. L. Okay, you see, It's actually using the danta. Then the tongue is also used, and it's there between the teeth. Ta, tha, da, dha, na, la, la, then sa. Okay. So in that way, teeth are used, not used. So. Then oshtho. Okay, oshtho means lips. Oshtho means lips. Upu upadmaniyam oshtho. Upu upadmaniyanam upadmaniyanam oshtho. Among the swaras, rasva ukara and dirgha ukara. So their place of articulation is oshtho. Okay, u, you see, u. So in that, the lips are actually used. You cannot pronounce "u" without, making that lips, without utilizing the lips. So "u" we have to. You cannot. Oh, so we cannot even, without the help of the lips, we cannot pronounce the letter "u" and "dirgha ukara." Then Vargya Vyanjana. So among that, full pa varga, pa, pha, ba, bha, and ma. So you can perfectly see. So without the help of the lips, we cannot pronounce the pa varga. Among the Ayogavahas, what are that? Upadmaniyaha. Upadmaniyaha is also actually having the place of articulation as oshtha. So these are the things. So in Upadmaniya, you can see if there is a visarga is followed by pa or visarga is followed by pha, then bala pathan, bala pibanti, Krishna phalakaha. So in that you can see the oshta or the lips are actually used in order to pronounce that half visarga sound. Then nasika, okay, sixth one, the sixth place of articulation. Nyamangananam nasika cha. Nya, ma, nga, na, and na. So their place of articulation is nasika. Okay. Now these letters have actually two articulation places. Kindly note it down. Because these letters are the fifth letter of each varga. The fifth letter of ka varga is nga. The cha varga is nya. Then the ta varga, that is na. Then for ta varga, that is nakara. Then for pa varga, it is makara. So in that way, for pronouncing these letters, we need to take help of two places. Nasika, okay, we have to take the help of nostrils or the nose, and also we have to take the help of the respective, vargas classifications or the different places, articulation places. So that's why these letters have two articulation places, Nasika and the respective Vargiya articulation places. For example, Nya is there. Okay, Nya. So it comes in the Cha Varga category. Okay, Cha Varga's fifth letter, if you see, that is Nya. So the very first articulation place is Talu, definitely, to pronounce that. And also Nasika is also used. Okay, Nasika, without the help of Nasika, we cannot actually pronounce that letter. So the fifth letter of that Varga, respective Varga, is also having the Nasika as the place of articulation. Then there are other letters. Okay, we have covered all the except diphthongs. We have covered all the swaras. Now for diphthongs, two places are actually used. Okay, for pronouncing the diphthongs, two places of articulation are being used. What are those? Eight and aitoho, kantha talu. Okay. Kantha and talu. Both are the places of articulation for ekaraha and aikaraha. So you can feel also. So kantha is also used and talu is also being used. So a, then I, okay, I. So it's actually the talu means the soft palate. and Murdha, that is hard palate. So when we pronounce this letter, the soft palate and the Kantha are being used. Okay. Then Kantha Oshtham. Kantha Oshtham. So among the swaras, Okaraha and Aukaraha. In that, Kantha is also the factor to pronounce those letters, and also the Oshtham or the lips are also employed to pronounce those letters. So you can pronounce O, O. Okay, you just keep your hand in the on your throat. You can keep, and then you can feel that. Okay, the Kantha sound also. O, O. You can feel that vibration. So in that way, they have two places of articulation. Then for Vakaraha, Vakara is coming in the category of Antastha. So what is the place of articulation? Danta and Oshtam, both are there. Ba, okay, Ba, Danta and Oshtam. So the teeth is also employed and the lips are also employed. Ba, Ba. You can see the teeth is actually touching the lips. Ba, Ba. Okay, Ba. Just alone by teeth we cannot pronounce that. So that's why the lips are also used. Ba, Ba. Okay, so in that way, these are the classifications. What else? Jivvamulam. So Upadmaniya's classification we saw, it just comes in the category of Oshtho or the lips. And Jivvamulam, or when the Visarga is followed by the Kakaraha or Kha, then that half Visarga sound, that is called Jivvamuliya. So the place of articulation is just completely designated as Jivvamulam, or the edge of the tongue. Okay, the edge of the tongue. So Balah Karoti, when we pronounce that, so you can feel Balah Karoti Gau Khadati. So that the last part of the tongue, you can feel that that vibration. You can feel that what you can tell, the you can tell some type of friction. Yeah, that's what I mean. Some type of
I think
friction.
when you sneeze, right, Prabhuji? When you sneeze, you feel that right on that spot.
Sneeze. Yeah. So when we sneeze, so that time only we also feel some type of discomfort. Yeah. So that's the thing. Edge of the tongue. There only you can feel that cough, maybe the cold. You can feel them. Yes. So from that place only, the Jivvamulam is actually pronounced. Yes, but when you have cold, you cannot pronounce the properly Jivvamulam or Jivvamulya sound. So
please don't get sick. Please don't get sick until our class, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, this is Jivamulam only Lakha or Perfa also?
Sorry, Mataji, Jivvamulam is?
In this Jivamulam, so there are also category in Jivamulam, right? Kakha and then Perfa also category, na?
Yeah, Mataji. For Jivvamulam, there is for Jivvamulya, the place of articulation is Jivvamulam. And for Upadmaniya, there is no separate place of articulation as like Upadmaniyam. It's not like that. Upadmaniya just comes in the category of Oshtho or the lips.
So now here the example is say Bala Karoti Go Khadati, right? So again, we also had one example of corn for in Jiva.
That is Upadmaniya, Mataji. That is Upadmaniya. When Visarga is actually followed by Ka or Kha, then that sound, that half Visarga sound is called Jivvamuliya. When Visarga is followed by Pa or Tha, okay, you can see Upadmaniya. So when it is followed by Pa or Tha, then it is called Upadmaniya sound, that half Visarga. So this is the difference between Upadmaniya and Jivvamuliya.
Ayogavaha means what?
Yes, Mataji. Ayogavahas means what? The meaning of the word Ayogavaha, when we will study Maheshwar Sutra, okay, then we will get into that. So in Maheshwar Sutras, that the Upadmaniya, Visarga, Anuswara, these are not actually counted. These are not actually told by the Damru of Shiva. So yoga means joined or included, and ayoga means which is not included. And vaha means what? Vahanti, or they are utilized, or they still work, they still have different operations being performed. Okay, like for example, half visarga sound and different sounds. So some letter or some symbol which is not included in the Maheshwar Sutra, but it is still utilized in order to pronounce to do some more operations. So that's why that is called ayoga bahaha. So they are the performer of some operations, but still they are not included in the Maheshwar Sutras. But Panini has mentioned them in separately. Yes. Okay.
So, अयोगा यानी प्रभु जी यानी
Ayoga means something which is not included.
यानी समाविष्ट नहीं है, उनका योग नहीं हुआ है,
समावेश नहीं है, correct. जिनका योग नहीं है, correct. So when we will study in today's class only we will study Maheshwar Sutras, and then I will explain. Okay. So these are the collection of the through which you can actually memorize the the articulation places of all these swaras and the vyanjanas and ayogavahas. So akuha visarjaniyanam kantaha, ichuyashanam talu, ridurashanam murdha, litulasanam dantaha, upadmaniyanam oshtau, Nyamangananam nasika cha, et aitoho kanthatalu, ot autoho kanthostham, vakarasya dantostham, jivvamulyasya jivvamulam, nasika anuswarasya. Okay, so these are the 11 phrases. I would recommend everyone to memorize this. Okay, please memorize it. It will be very much helpful in the later stages also. So this is just what you can tell, summarization in the box, in the chart flow, that type of chart. So swaraha, then vargya vyanjana, antastha, ushmana, ayogavas, and their respective varnasya utpatti sthana, or the place of articulation. So swara a, vargya, then antastha, there is nothing, ushmana is there, ha, and ayogava. So there is the places of articulation are kantaha. Then for talu, murdha, danta, and ushta. You can make a note of it. You can take a screenshot if you want. Okay, then the other nyamangananam, so there nasika also and the respective vargas. Then for other swaras, the diphthongs a, I, and o, o. So kanthatalu and kanthostham. Then for bakara, which is antastaha, so that is dantostham, jivvamulyasya jivvamulam, anuswarasya nasikacha. Okay, any questions before we get into Maheshwar Sutra?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
The purpose of learning this, the places of articulation, is to pronounce the letters of the words properly.
Perfectly correct. Yes. We should know actually from where we have to pronounce that. So, and for that we need to know what are the places of articulation. But also one more thing, sometime in Gurukula, for many years, while they were chanting the Vedic mantras also, the practice they used to be asked to perform, because so many Vedic mantras, when they will chant and they will hear from the Guru, and Guru has practiced the pronunciation of the swaras or the vyanjanas or other ayogavahas very properly. So that's why when the Shishya hears again that sound again, then gradually through the practice, one can actually become very expert in pronouncing those letters. So it is stated in the Vedas, there is a statement, Vedic statement, that if one pronounces a letter, a vyanjana or any swara for that matter, in its perfect way, if one pronounces, then he is sure to attain Svarga. So Svargam Gachet, like that, some type of Ashirvachanam has been given. So that is the power of this.
And one more like practical question. In the Vedic culture, like right from childhood, their children recite these words or the sounds so much for long hours like that. But I hear in our devotee communities also, many will have, because of usage of so much of throat for lectures and then for chanting and then for kirtan, right from the morning 4:30 we start singing and then chanting, then lecture. So that many will have throat issues, like throat will pain. So is it because of some wrong way of using the throat, or in a subtle way? Like there are so many points. I have heard you can sing from stomach. I've heard such thing. Or you can sing from throat. You can sing from head. Means not like head is singing, but the shuttle movements, like from nose, somebody can, the voice is coming from the nose. So do you know anything related to this?
See, there are many factors of like having those type of problems. The one very big problem that is that we are not actually pronouncing those letters perfectly. That is definitely there, and we are actually maybe taking the help of some other place, and that's why we are having throat problem. Also, one more thing. Presently, the food which we consume, or when there is an imbalance of kapha pitta vayu, so that is also another factor, Mataji. It's not just when we pronounce, but also when we pronounce, but when our body is not taking the right food. Okay. And also we are consuming sometimes some other thing in a more, like we are doing some ati of some other substance. So that's why then there could be some problem in the throat. So there could be some issue with the food, but also the when we are not pronouncing the letters properly. So that's why that can also be another reason. But presently also we are not regulated in eating also. That is also another big factor, that we also have sometimes throat problems when we sing for long hours. Because previously in the Gurukula system, they were given so much nutritious food. In morning time, they used to have some type of chana, jaggery, and in that way they used to have so much nutritious food, and they were just depending on the natural things. They were doing vyayam, they were having so much of yoga. So in that way, because they had to sometimes chant the Vedic mantras for so much time, but still, if you see through the practice, they can actually for so much time they can continuously chant, and they will not have any throat problem.
No throat problem. Yeah, because many, just recently when Mataji was in one class, she was telling me that if I chant, I become tired and I lose my energy. So it's like chanting, like all the devotees have to do.
Yeah.
Such problem is there, then.
Food is also main thing, Mataji. Food. We are not getting proper food.
Food and mind, means one has to do, I think, pranayam and such thing to balance.
To regulate our
System.
kapha pitta.
Yeah.
Because then if there is some imbalance, then what will happen? Our the throat will become dry, and there will be friction, and then we will.
Veda Pandit who regularly chant mantras, they don't get neuro problems, brain related nervous problem.
Correct.
Because of that mantra and talu madan, keep on stimulating talu with the letters they pronounce, they don't get neuro problem, sight problem, hearing problem, problem of sense organs mostly. Most of the people, Veda Pandits, we see healthy and they have memory power compared to we general people. And one more thing I want to know,
Yes.
the melody.
Melody.
Melody depends on what? And different people talk. Some people voice is very melodious. They sing melodiously. This melody factor is depending on what?
It's depending on what. Usually, so many factors are actually included. You should have, because it's not that everyone can sing melodiously, and everyone cannot become big singers, or everyone cannot take the professional singer. So definitely there should be some merit of the past karma in order to be very good. In order to get a very good throat to sing properly. But also in the Shastras, the jnana, the knowledge of singing melodiously, it's there in the Shastra, Sangita Shastra, and also in the Chanda Shastra, because Chanda is another Vedanga. Chanda and also the Shiksha Vedanga. So in that also the jnana of how to chant the shlokas in what melody. So that knowledge is also given, and usually the guru used to only teach. So how to actually sing those shlokas. Yes.
Even in talking also, if some people talk, we feel like listening. Their voice is melodious, musical. And
Correct.
some people when talk, we feel when he will keep quiet. So this factor.
Yeah. So this could be actually maybe regulated by, because there is no proper education in Gurukula, or even in schools also they don't teach or how to speak melodiously or how to speak sweetly. In the Gurukulas there used to be a kala. So Krishna and Balram, they learned 64 kalas under Sandipani Muni, and under that 64 kalas there is one kala, how to speak sweetly. So that kala was also taught in Gurukulas. Presently, we don't have in our modern education system. Yes.
Thank you. Regarding this only, I heard सरस्वती, जिसके कंठ में सरस्वती विराजती है, उसका कंठ मधुर होता है. तो हाँ, तो एक्चुअली किसी के जीप में सरस्वती वीणा लेके तो नहीं बैठती है. जिसके कंठ में रस होता है, सा रसवती, जो रस से युक्त है वही सरस्वती है.
सरस्वती, सरस. Yeah, they have special blessings. Okay. So Maheshwar Sutras we will talk about now. Okay, so before we get into what is the meaning of Maheshwar Sutras, I will just try to give some background of the story. So how Maheshwar Sutras were actually we got that. So there's a story. Adau Paninihi Vyakranam Grathitum Utsakah San Tapah Chakara. So what happened in the beginning? First of all, what happened? Panini, the sage, there was a great grammarian, great sage Panini. So he had so much of desire to study Vyakarana and to render the grammar. So for that he performed tapaha. He performed tapasya. Tapasa prasannaha parameshwaraha prakatibhuya tandava nrityam kritavan. So by getting pleased by the tapasya done by sage Panini, Lord Parameshwara or Lord Shiva, he became very happy, he became very pleased with his tapasya. And he appeared in front of him, in front of Panini Muni, and he started doing Tandava Nrityam. Okay, he started doing Tandava Nritya. Nrityante cha Shankaraha dhakkam chaturdasha varam nanada. So after after the Nritya was actually performed, so at the last the Damru, Shivji, he played the Damru for Chaturdasha varam or 14 times. Okay, so Lord Shiva is having that special instrument that's called Damru. Okay, and then when he played that 14 times, so 14 Maheshwar Sutra came. Okay, so 14 Maheshwar Sutra, the sage Panini heard. And Natarajasya Dhakka Shabdeshu Paninihi Kamshchana Varna Shabdan Shrutavan. So when the Dhakka Shabda, when the sound of that Damru which comes, so Panini heard Varnas from the 14 times when he played that Damru, so he heard Varnas. Te Dhvanayah Varnanam Samuchayaha Asan. Yaihi Vyakarana Sutra Kalpanam Sarlataya Sambhavati Sma. The sound of the Varnas, the sounds of those Varnas were actually understood by Panini from the playing of that Damru. Okay. Yaihi, through which these sounds, okay, of the Varnas, Vyakarana Sutra Kalpanam, or the making of the sutras of Vyakaranam was very easily possible. Okay. Was easily possible for Panini to do. So through that Dhvani, the writing of the sutra of the Sanskrit grammar was very easy to perform. Tena Santushtah Paninihi Vyakarana Shastre Kriyashilo Babhuva. So after Lord Shiva appeared in front of him, I mean, he gave the power, he gave the Shakti, he invested that energy in sage Panini in order to write Sanskrit grammar. And he played that Damru for 14 times. In that way, he gave the mercy to, he gave the blessings to sage Panini in order to write Vyakarana Shastra. And then only sage Panini became capable and became the recipient of writing the Sanskrit grammar. Etani eva Maheshwarad agatani Maheshwarani sutrani iti prasiddham. So because it has come from Maheshwara, it has come from Lord Shiva, the sutra, so that's why the term has come Maheshwara Sutram. Maheshwaram, something which comes from Maheshwara, that is called Maheshwara. Okay, so that's why we call them as Maheshwara Sutra. In that way, it became famous. Nrittavasane Nataraja Rajo Nanada Takkam Navapanchavaram Uddhartakama Sanakadi Siddhan Etad Vimarshe Shiva Sutra Jalam. Lord Nataraja, at the end of his cosmic dance, sounded his drums 14 times, designed to bless the sages. I shall interpret this set of 14 sutras of Shiva. Okay. So even the Sanakadi Siddhant, even the other sages, they also used this sound which was actually done by Lord Shiva. So they also use these varnas in order to understand the conclusions of the Vedas. Okay. So the sound which was pronounced, which was played by the drum of Lord Shiva, not only just blessed sage Panini, but it also gave mercy. It also blessed the other sages like Sanaka and other sages in order to understand the Vedanta or the other sections of the Vedas. So in that way, Lord Shiva actually blessed these sages. And in that way, now Panini, who got the mercy from Lord Shiva, he will elaborate, he will interpret this set of 14 sutras, and in that way he wrote whole of Ashtadhyayi. Ashtadhyayi consists of 4,000 sutras. Okay, so he heard from Lord Shiva 14 sutras, and he elaborated those 14 sutras into 4,000 sutras. So he gave the knowledge of Vyakran in Ashtadhyayi. Now the pronunciation of those 14 of those 14 sutras. I will play a video and you can hear them. Okay. So these are the 14 sutras. I un rilrik eong, I ouch hayavarat lan nyamanganam, jabhai garadash, jabhagaradash, khapa chatata chatatau kapai shasasar hal. So these 14 times when he played the drum, so Panini heard these sounds. Okay. I will just share the sound so that you can hear. Okay, so this was the pronunciation of those sounds. So this was produced from the 14 times playing of the drum. Okay, now I will just share, because when we are talking about a Tandava dance by Lord Shiva, so actually Lord Shiva performs two types of Tandava dance. One is known as Ananda Tandava dance, okay, which he usually performs for creation, and the other is called Rautra Tandava, which he performs for the destruction. Okay, so at the time of destruction, the third eye of Lord Shiva is actually opened, and then the whole destruction happens. Okay, so by the Rautra Tandava, the destruction happens, and even while the creation is happening, so Lord Shiva's interference is already there. Okay, so definitely it helps. Lord Shiva's Tandava dance, it helps in some stages of creation. So here the Ananda Tandava dance, that only actually he performed in front of the sage Panini. Ananda Tandava. So there is a traditional dance done by one Mataji, and she has enacted how the at the time of cosmic creation, so how the Tandava dance is usually done. Okay, so there is some mention in the scriptures also, and based on that they have performed. So that video is of South India, and one Mataji from South India is actually performing. I will just share that. Okay, so there was some glimpse of how the dance is performed. It's a very big dance, actually. It's around 10 minutes dance. So they have enacted, and the sound which is coming in the background. So they are actually chanting some of the prayers written by some of the Acharya coming there in Chola kingdom. So some of the kingdom that great poet has actually written that whole shloka, whole that song, and they are actually singing that song in the praise of Lord Shiva. and she is actually enacting some of the Ananda Tandava dance. Okay. Now in Tamil Nadu also there is a temple, Chidambaram. There is a place Chidambaram, and there is a temple there of Lord Shiva. Okay. So what happened? The Nritya Sabha. In that temple there is one Sabha, Nritya Sabha, also known as Nritya Sabha or Hall of Dance, is situated in the southern section of the second courtyard adjacent to the Nataraja sanctum in the temple complex. Dating back to the 13th century, it is believed to be the site of a legendary dance competition between Shiva and Kali. So there was a competition, dance competition between Shiva and Kali. Shiva won the competition with the Urdhva Tandava pose. You can see, Urdhva Tandava pose. The leg is actually above. One leg is there on the demon, and one leg is above, Urdhva, but it's above. So that is the pose. And lifting his right leg straight up. A move Kali, being a woman, refused to replicate. Originally thought to have 56 pillars, the hall now contains 50 intricately carved pillars depicting dancers in Natya Shastra mudras and musicians, evoking a lively atmosphere of music and dance enjoyment. So in that way, this was some of the when competition happened, and Kali being a woman did not replicate that pose, and she so in that way Shiva won. So it is said when I went to Chidambaram to visit that temple. So it's very beautiful. If you see above in the temple complex, the drawings of those postures, so that are enacted of Kali and Shiva. But in one photo, only Shiva is performing this the Urdhva, what is the name? Urdhva Tandava pose, and the Parvati is just standing. So in that way, she is accepting the defeat. So it is stated, I heard by the pujaris, from the pujaris, that 100 poses, 99 poses Parvati enacted, replicated, but the 100th pose which Shiva performed, that was Urdhva Tandava pose. So Parvati, the Kali, did not perform. So now Maheshwar Sutrani, actually what does it contain? The 14 Maheshwar Sutras which what does it contain? It lists alphabets in a different way as 14 sets which are called Maheshwara Sutras. Okay, so sometimes we will just think, because Panini happened to come on 4th century BC or 6th century BC. There is some difference of opinion. So what happened before Panini came? So before there was no aksharas, or before there were no swara vyanjanas. Swara vyanjanas are eternally existing, no doubt about it. But in order to give the power, in order to give the strength or blessings to write Sanskrit grammar, these 14 Maheshwar Sutras were given as the basis, so that different rules and regulations of Sanskrit grammar can be written. So these are the basis of all the 4,000 sutras, which are giving the different rules and regulations. So I un rilrik eong I ouch hayavarat land Nyamanganam Jabhai Gadhadash Jabagadadash Khapa Chatata Chatatau Kapai Shashasar Hal. Okay. Now here there is one concept of pratyahara. Okay, it's very important to note it down. What is pratyahara? So pratyahara, it means the concept of it. There is a sangya which is actually given, it sangya. So what happens? There are the 14 sets. Okay, this is one set, another set, third set. In that way, 14 sets are there. And the last consonant of each Maheshwar Sutra is termed as the it letter, or the it sangya is being given to the last consonant of each sutra. So you can see the letters which are actually colored in the black color, they are considered to be in the it sangya. So they are termed as it sangya. And they are indicators of pratyaharas. Okay, they are the indicators of the pratyahara. I will explain the concept of pratyahara. But just just understand that the last letter of each sutra is considered as each sangya. Okay, each sangya that they are termed. So in sutra Rilrik, okay, what is that sutra? The second sutra, the ka letter, the ka is termed as ith letter. In sutra Eom, okay, third one. So is termed as its sangya. Okay. Now, what do we mean by its sangya? Okay, what do we mean by its sangya? I will tell. So, for example, the first sutra is there, I un. Okay, I un. Now, the pratyahara, that means that the beginning of the sutra, the beginning consonant of that sutra, and the last vyanjana, the it sangya, which is being termed. So when we combine them, when we just combine them, and we don't mention the eu, okay, when we just mention and the last letter, then it becomes ana, okay, and that is called pratyahara. So pratyahara means that through which we are actually counting the first letter and the letters which fall between them. Okay. So through pratyahara, we are counting the first letter and the letters which are falling in between. So this is the concept of pratyahara, and the last letter, the it sangya, which is termed, so that is the helper to make the pratyaharas. When we are counting the swaras or when we are counting the letters in the sutras, we don't have to count those vyanjanas which are termed as it sangya. Okay, which are termed as it sangya, or the last letter of each sutra, the last letter, the last consonant or the vyanjana of each sutra, we don't have to count. We don't have to take into the consideration, or we don't have to count in the category of counting the letters. But they are just the indicators, or they are just helpers in order to make pratyaharas. For example, it's very useful because Panini, while he will be telling the sutras, while he will be mentioning the sutras, one of the characteristic of a sutra is that the sutra should be very concise. Okay, it should be very concise. And in order to facilitate that conciseness of a sutra, the quality of that sutra, Sage Panini has taken this type of methodology in order to indicate the swaras or vyanjanas. Okay. So this is the methodology which he has used in order to indicate the different varnas. For example, there are some big names of institutions. For example, National Health Organization, NHO, or maybe some other. So then we will not tell again National Health Organization. We will just tell NHO, or we just simply we will take ISKCON. Okay, ISKCON. So ISKCON means International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Whenever we will not tell full name, but we will just tell the abbreviation of that. So you can just tell the pratyahara, the it sangya, the last letter, the last consonant of each sutra is actually a helper to make abbreviations of those sutras. Pratyahara is equivalent like abbreviation. Okay, but the difference between the normal abbreviation and the pratyahara is that the last letter of the consonant, in each of the sutra, that does not have to be counted. Okay? That we don't have to count. So pratyahara, what are the varnas we have to just take into consideration? The a and e and u. Okay. So the first sutra, by the help of the first sutra, that is being made. Okay, a, e, and u, and the na should not be taken. In the similar way, if we put rig, so re and re should be only be taken. Ka should not be taken into the consideration. So in that way, there are 14 sutras. And the first sutras, when we count them and when we just when we omit all the last consonants letter, the last vyanjana letters, then we find that they constitute these swara. They constitute these swara letters. So starting from the beginning and the fourth sutra's last letter, When we just make that abbreviation, when we make that pratyahara, so in that way we are counting all of the swaras. Okay. As per certain regulations outlined in the Maheshwara Sutra, the elongated forms of the letters A and other swaras are also encompassed. So you can see there will be a question that, Prabhu, here A is not there, Dirgha Ikar is not there, Dirgha Ukar is not there, Re is not there, I is there, and O. So 4 diphthongs are there. But the Dirgha forms of A, I, U, and Re, so they are not there. So how to take, so there are some rules and regulations, okay? There are some rules and regulations through which, through the word a only, we can count the elongated form, the dirgha form of the rasva akara. And by the letter ikaraha, we are counting the dirgha ikara. And similarly, ukaraha, ukaraha, we are counting. And then the fourth one, re, so the elongated form of re, we are counting. So these are some rules. In that way, we count those swaras also. So first 4 sutras, I, Un, Ril, Rik, Eon, Ayauch, these 4 sutras. So they constitute ach. Okay, A is the first one and cha is the last consonant. So we just, when we add it, it becomes ach, and in that way we are including all of these swaras. Then starting from the 5th sutra until the 14th sutra, Haya Varat Lan Yamanganam Jabhai Gadadash Jabagadash Kapachatata Chatatau Kapai Shasasar Hal. In that way, we just have to omit all of the last consonants. Only the last consonant of the 14th sutra we have to count. Okay, starting from the first letter of the 5th sutra and ending with the last consonant of the. So when we add it, when we make, it becomes a pratyahara hal. And through the word hal, we are actually indicating all the vyanjanas. So usually when in the grammar, in the Ashtadhyay grammar written by Panini Muni, he will not indicate vyanjana like by the word vyanjana. He will indicate vyanjanas by the word hal. Okay. So by the help of Maheshwaras only, because hal is only 2 letters or 3 letters. But vyanjanas are vyanjana. It's like a very huge word. So the quality of the sutra is what? It has to be concise. And that's why, just to facilitate the different grammatical rules and regulations, ach and hal are being used. So these are some of the operations. Now, why do we require Maheshwara Sutras? Pratyahara forms the basis of the construction of the sum of the rules of Sanskrit grammar. So, because the pratyahara forms, which are pratyahara forms, like these are the pratyahara forms, ach, hal, these are called pratyaharas. So these are the forms which become the basis of the rules and regulations there in the Sanskrit grammar. And it's also another way to remember the swaras or vyanjanas. Okay, it's easy to remember these sounds. And used extensively for phonetic changes. So phonetic change means sandhi. So in order to facilitate some of the rules and regulations of sandhi, which we will be discussing in the coming classes. So in order to facilitate that also, the pratyahara forms are being utilized. Okay, any questions? Yes, Shyamla.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Quick question, like the pratyahar, is this pratyahar related to the Ashtanga Yoga process where pratyahar is used?
No, Prabhuji, not at all. Yeah, pratyahara, the process which is there in the Ashtanga Yoga, pratyahara there, it actually means some set of rules and regulations, some type of regulations for the body. But here pratyahara, it means pratyahriyante. So pratyahriyante varnaha, or something which is abbreviated. The abbreviations, through which abbreviations are actually created. So that is the meaning of pratyahara.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Sada Yogi Prabhu.
Yeah. So Prabhuji, here the phala vyanjanani.
Yes.
So it
Hal means
starts
Vyanjana.
with, yeah, it's starting with the her, and
Hayavarat.
also ending with her only. Double
Correct. Yes.
repetition is there.
Yes. So in that, Prabhu, the her, that one is actually utilized in order to do some specific operations. Okay, the 14th in the 14th sutra, her again, which is pronounced. So that is being actually used for doing some specific operations. When you will learn more of the intricacies of Sanskrit grammar from Ashtadhyayi, it's a very elaborate process, Prabhu, elaborate discussion about why the her is actually used, and many sutras are written for that reason why her is actually pronounced again. But basically, it's used only to facilitate some of the operations which are used only for that 14th sutra. Okay, so sometimes in order to even indicate the pratyahara, so only that letter ha. So that's why sometimes that hal word is used. So when we use in some other places, so to facilitate some of the rules and regulations, the only letter ha is used. Okay, so there can be two ways of there can be two meanings of the word hal. Either you can just take from the 5th sutra to the 14th sutra, last one, and in between all the varnas can be, taken into consideration. And the other meaning can be just hal and just remove the lakara and only take the ha. So to facilitate some of the operations, this repetition is being done. So when you will get into more of the understanding of Ashtadhyayi, so you can more get into the details. This is a very big discussion in the group of grammarians. We were also discussing this with my acharya. We just discussed about this for 2-3 classes. Huge discussion actually. Why many things are there, because every acharya, Panini's shishya, there are many disciples of Panini. For example, Patanjali, many are there. So they have explanations why there is a repetition here, and in order to perform different things, they are taking the help of that 14th sutra. Any other question? I hope it's clear for everyone. I think everyone is tired. It's already
Is there any connection, Prabhu, here between the Maheshwar Sutrani and the Varnamala of Vargiya, Avargiya, Ushpanaha,
connection.
Antas?
Connection. What do you mean by connection, Blue?
Connection means the way it is categorized there. Have they done the same thing here?
Yes. So in Varnamala, usually what happens, the A, I, U, then they have also the other Dirgha forms also. A, I, U, R, then A, I, O. Okay. So in that way, they pronounce these swaras. But in Maheshwar Sutra, you see, A, I, U, R, then A, O, I, O. Okay, so they are actually changed. AI should be there, and then O, in that way it should be there. But they are, dismantled like that. Then Hayavarat, in that if you see, the Ha is Ushman letter, and Yavara is what? Antastha letter. Then La is also Antastha letter. Then Yamanganana, they are what? The 5th varna of the each varga. Then Jabha is the 2nd letter of the vargas. Gadhadha is also 4th letter of each varga. Then Jaba Gadada, what are they? They are the cha, cha, cha. The third letter and also the usually the third letter only. For pa, pha, ba, then ga is ka, kha. So these are the third letters of Vargiya. Then kha, pha, cha, tha, tha, cha, ta, tau. So in that the first letter is also there. Okay. And also the second letter of Vargiya Vyanjan is also included. Then ka,
Kha
pa,
part.
then
Cha,
other
tha, tha.
plus then sha, sa, sa, they are what? The Ushmana.
First.
So in that way, there is a
Cha,
this
tha,
type
tha.
of
Kha.
dismantle or rearrangement of the varnas is being done in order to perform different operations. Yes, there is a whole science, Prabhu. Even by the help of Maheshwar Sutras, there are some research going on. Even they use this for computer applications and for doing some other logical things in programming and also in doing natural language processing. Yes. It's a huge science behind Maheshwar Sutras and even the sutras which are written by Panini. They are utilizing those sutras for natural language processing, which is a part of AI, artificial intelligence. I am also trying to connect to them. There is a team in Germany. In Germany, there are some people who are doing research, and I am in contact with some devotees there. So eventually, I will also take up some projects to do some more research and just to publish some research papers also eventually. Mahesh Prabhu, yes.
Prabhuji, can you please read all these 14 words like slowly?
14 sutras.
All these 14 sutras, yeah. What?
So
Can
yeah,
you read this slowly, like
same
a
only
slow
for
pace?
the varnas only, the varnas which are the Varnamala.
Yeah.
So I will pronounce like each letter E, U like that or sutra.
No,
like
you can do a continuous, but go at a slow pace for each of
slow
those.
pace.
Yeah.
So I own I ouch learn jabhai jabagada dash cha tha tha chatatau kapai sha sar sha sar then hal. Okay, so in that way,
Okay.
We can do this. So sha and sar. Sha. It's sometimes a
Thank
little
you.
bit twisting the tongue when we pronounce that the sha is there between them. So we have to little bit twist our tongue because we are touching the hard palate. So sometimes it becomes a little difficult. Yes. Okay. So it's 8:27. Are there any comments, questions? If anyone wants to comment something, want to share something, then
Why, Prabhuji?
yes. So
Yeah.
Sadayogi Prabhu. Yes.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Here, Antyastha, when we are pronouncing Yavarat, Hayavarat,
Ayavara.
and yeah,
Ayavara.
Antastha, and
Yes.
Ushmana, Sa. So, what is the difference, Antastha and Ushmana?
Very nice question, Prabhu. I was just waiting for someone to ask that. Yes. So what is the meaning? We saw the meaning of Swara, Vyanjana, Visarga, Upadmaniya, or Jivva. So these are the things. But what is the meaning of Antastha and the Ushma? Okay. So if we just have that Varnamala, then we can find Antastha. It means Antaha in Sanskrit has many meanings. Antaha can mean the conclusion. For example, the Vedanta means here Anta means something conclusion of all the Vedas. Anta means something which is inside. Anta means something which is on the end. Antaha means something which is in middle. So the yavarala, okay, yavarala, 4 varnas, these are falling when you categorize the table, Vargiya Vyanjana and Ushmana. Okay, so Vargiya Vyanjana, there are 8 letters. So Vargiya Vyanjanas, and then later on Antastha comes, and then later on Ushmana letter comes. So Antastha means Antaha, Antaha means in middle, and Sthaha means Tishtanti, or they are situated. So some varnas which are situated in the middle of Vargiya Vyanjana and Ushmana, so those are called Antastha. And Yavarala, they are called Antastha letters. And Ushmanaha, Ushma. What is the meaning of Ushma, Prabhu? So that will give you.
Heat.
Heat, correct, heat. So to pronounce even the other letters, the heat is produced, but extra heat is produced. So much of heat is produced when we pronounce those letters. Sha, okay, when we pronounce sha, then so much of hot air is actually blown out of the mouth, and energy is being invested. So that's why those 4 varnas are actually categorized in the they are termed as Ushmanaha. Ushma is Ekvachanam, and Ushmanaha it's Bahuvachanam. So this is the meaning. These are the meanings of the. This is the meaning of Antastha and Ushma.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yes. So we will conclude here. I hope you learned from the class whatever I have taught. And kindly do the practice sheets. Okay, kindly attempt that. Take out the printout and practice. And revise all the concepts before the next class. So,
regarding
Thank you.
Urdhva
in the next class. Yes. Any question?
हाँ, मैं एक बात
Tell me.
बोलना चाहती हूँ।
There is some sound coming. हाँ, Uma Mataji, yes, tell me.
अभी कुछ देर पहले आपने चिदम्बरम का ऊर्ध्व तांड पिक्चर दिखाया ना, फोटो।
जी जी।
हाँ, उसके बारे में हमने एक कथा सुनी, वो 2 लाइन में बताना चाहिए।
जी जी, बताइए। हाँ,
और काली के जो डांस कंपटीशन हुआ, सारे पोस्टर्स कॉम्पीट किया है काली जी ने, लेकिन जैसे ही शिव जी पैर उठा के कान तक ले आए ऊर्ध्व पोस्टर, काली जी वो देख के भी उसको कॉपी नहीं की या कॉम्पीट नहीं की। इसका रीजन ये है, काली माता है सृष्टि की। अगर वो भी पुरुष के इक्विवेलेंट ऐसे पैर उठा देती तो उसके गोद से सृष्टि गिर जाता, नष्ट हो जाता। अपने सृष्टि को बचाने के लिए उसने उस कंपटीशन को कैपेबल होने के बाद भी कॉम्पीट नहीं किया।
वाओ
इसीलिए पुरुष के साथ हर चीज में नारी को कंपटीशन में नहीं चले जाना चाहिए। हर चीज में चले जाए तो अपना घर भी कभी कभी ना डावाडोल होने की स्थिति में आ जाता है। ऐसा बड़े लोग कहते हैं। तो स्त्री का अपना एक चार्म है, अपना एक ड्यूटी है, वही ड्यूटी उसका ब्यूटी है, उसमें बंधे रहना, यही इसका तात्पर्य है, ऐसे किसी बड़े ने हमसे कहा था। मुझे अच्छा लगा, मुझे लगा ये राइट प्लेस है शेयर करने के लिए।
हाँ हाँ माता जी, वेरी नाइस। एक्चुअली उधर पुजारी से मिलेंगे ना, तो वो बहुत सारे स्टोरीज पास टाइम्स बताएंगे। हम लोग जब गए थे तो उन्होंने पता नहीं जल्दीबाजी हो रही थी और फेस्टिवल था शायद, तो इसलिए हम लोग जब गए तो पुजारी भी कोई फ्री नहीं था और थोड़ा सा बता दिया कि हाँ 100 ऐसे कुछ पोजेस हुए थे और 99 किया, लेकिन जो 100 जो फॉर्म था, पोज ये जो था ऊर्ध्व तांडव पोज, तो
पूरा
ये नहीं
180
कर पाए।
डिग्री अपसाइड डाउन है।
हाँ यस, तो ये नहीं कर पाए और इसके वजह से yes.
कर सकती थी लेकिन नहीं की,
नहीं की, करेक्ट।
अपना हद में रह गई।
हाँ, इसमें लिखा है ना Lifting his right leg straight up, Amu Kali, being a woman, refused to replicate. मतलब she would be able to do, but she refused.
Being a woman,
Being
उसका
a
woman
woman.
होना ही उस कॉम्पीट करने से रोका है. कर सकती थी लेकिन रोका. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Chaitanya Prabhu, you want to say something?
No, thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji. Very, very special class. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll conclude here. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. We will meet in the next class.